Part 2 of the Witkop Pass covers the section from the 8th to the 16th kilometer. If you intend driving this pass, it's very important to watch Part 1 first, which contains the Google Earth orientation clips as well as other important safety, tourism and historical information. The next downhill phase meanders its way towards the valley floor. There are some occasional rough sections, so keep your speed low and watch out for these, but generally speaking, the road surface is fairly good. This region currently boasts in excess of 500 private game reserves, some of them specializing in rare species such as roan, sable and buffalo. In addition to the private reserves, there are a number of nature, wilderness and conservancy areas surrounding the town. These include the Mokolo Nature Reserve and Dam, the Witkop Nature Reserve, and the most famous of them all, the D1836 Nature Reserve. This was the site for the peace talks between Nobel Peace Prize winner F.W. de Klerk and Cyril Ramaphosa of the ANC before the democratic transformation in South Africa. D1836 is acknowledged as the original Bosparate or Bush Conference Center, based on the fact that it was used for hosting high-level cabinet meetings of the former apartheid government of South Africa prior to the first democratic elections of 1994. At the 9.8 kilometer mark, the imposing entrance gates to the Tolo Bush estate appear on your right-hand side, and the road curves gently to the left, then straightens up for 450 meters as it heads towards the river crossing directly in front of you. The river, with the unusual name of Purseloop, is usually dry in the winter months, but could present a significant obstacle after heavy rains. There's a section of very soft sand about 100 meters long directly after crossing the small bridge. The road now begins a long and gradual ascent out of the valley formed by the river. A straight of 1 kilometer is followed by a shallow curve to the right, then by another straight of 1.4 kilometers. The road is mostly in a good condition along this stretch, but there are a few rough sections where care will need to be exercised. At the beginning of his presidency in 1989, former President F.W. de Klerk took his entire cabinet, plus a group of officials and advisors, to D1836 for a 2-day Bosparate. Over the next 4 years, de Klerk returned to D1836 several more times with various officials in order to work out solutions for crises that arose during the negotiation processes. These would eventually lead to South Africa's first democratic elections in 1994. On the 2nd of February 1990, a mere 2 months after his first Bush conference, de Klerk announced the coming release of hundreds of political prisoners, including Nelson Mandela, and the legalization of black liberation organizations that had been outlawed for 30 years. He also proclaimed his then government's willingness to end apartheid and to negotiate a new constitution to the benefit of all South Africans. In December 1992 and January 1993, government officials and top-ranking members of the African National Congress met at D1836 for 2 more Bush conferences. Towards the end of this section, the road bends to the right, then heads sharply up towards the entrance gates to a lodge on the left, marked by a small grass clearing and an impressive thatch-roofed structure. At this point, the road swings to the right through 90 degrees and gets a lot wider, but the surface is covered with washboard corrugations. A few speed bumps are encountered along the next straight of 500 meters, then the heading changes back towards the west through a long gentle left-hand corner of 80 degrees. The climb ends at this point, and the road starts to descend once more into the next valley. Just like the preceding descent, the road surface starts to slowly deteriorate as altitude is lost, most likely because of water runoff. Slow down and watch out for the natural hazards, as well as the speed bumps which someone has seen fit to insert at intervals along the stretch. Sharp rocks pepper the surface, again increasing the chances of a puncture. There is ample evidence of this, as indicated by the number of discarded tires littering the roadside. The Lapalali municipality is the biggest municipality in the Limpopo province in terms of geographical size, namely 19,605 square kilometers. This prosperous and tranquil Waterberg town is home to almost 20,000 people. Be sure to watch part 3 of the Witkop Pass, which covers the final 2 kilometers.